The 2026 anesthesiology market is currently facing a significant physician shortage. As health systems struggle to staff their surgical suites, the resulting demand has pushed compensation to record levels. This environment forces a high-level choice for every provider: remaining in a traditional W-2 hospital position or moving to a 1099 Locum Tenens contract. Making that transition changes your professional identity. You leave behind the shield of being a hospital staff member and become an independent business entity. This 1099 path leads to two primary incentives: the ability to command lucrative daily rates and a high degree of clinical autonomy. However, that independence comes with a trade-off. To gain that pay and flexibility, you must forfeit the entire institutional safety net provided by traditional employment. We call the resulting burden admin fatigue. It is the primary counterweight to the financial gains of contract work. Evaluating these two paths requires weighing the immediate upside of a daily rate against the reality of the bureaucratic overhead required to maintain it. Choosing locum tenens is a decision to trade institutional stability for higher immediate pay, provided you are willing to manage the business of your career. The math starts with the specific financial outcomes available to 1099 providers, particularly for those willing to work in rural or high-demand markets. This comparison matrix shows the first row, earning potential. In 2026, locum anesthesiologists are securing daily rates between $2,000 and $3,500, a figure that often outpaces standard hospital salaries. That higher pay arrives without any employer withholding. You must have the financial discipline to manage your own complex quarterly taxes and business expenses. In the second row, we see workflow autonomy. Locum work offers the flexibility to design a customized schedule, a sharp contrast to the fixed rotations of W-2 roles. You also escape the weight of departmental politics. There are no mandatory committee meetings. Your focus remains strictly on clinical duties. But this autonomy removes you from the hospital's internal structure. You are sacrificing institutional stability and a clear path toward long-term career progression within a single system. Essentially, the locum model isolates you as a clinical specialist, which effectively severs your ties to hospital leadership tracks. This model prioritizes immediate income and clinical freedom, but it leaves you without an institutional home base. We also have to account for the safety nets that disappear when you leave a standard payroll. Look at the third row of our matrix. The W-2 column lists health insurance, 401k matching, and paid time off, benefits that are completely absent on the locum side. Then there is the matter of malpractice coverage. As a 1099 provider, you are responsible for sourcing your own tail coverage, the insurance that covers you for claims made after an assignment ends. You must either negotiate for this with a locum agency or pay for it yourself. These premiums represent a significant out-of-pocket cost that most W-2 employees never see. When you calculate the cost of your own benefits and insurance, that high daily rate effectively decreases. You are essentially using part of your pay to build your own safety net. Because contract work is fast-paced, you will move between different clinical sites frequently. Each new site triggers a fresh round of regulatory checks. Without a hospital's medical staff office to handle the heavy lifting, you effectively become your own human resources department. This final row shows the modern credentialing burden. First, the 2026 CMS GAP rule requires you to provide formal documentation for any break in employment longer than 30 days. You also face the requirement for primary source verifications. Many payers no longer accept third-party data, so you must re-verify your credentials for every new assignment. On top of that, you must log in and attest to your CAQH profile every 90 days. Failing to do so can lead to decredentialing by commercial insurance payers. Then there is the PICO system. A 2026 migration to a new AWS cloud platform has caused widespread processing delays across the system. These delays can extend your enrollment timeline to 60 or even 120 days. This creates a direct financial risk. If your PICOS enrollment is stalled, you cannot legally work, which stops your income entirely. Compare this to the W-2 model. In a hospital role, the administration manages these delays behind the scenes, while your salary remains consistent. This cycle of constant paperwork is admin fatigue. It is the hidden price of locum autonomy, the unpaid hours you must spend just to maintain your right to work. The structural trade-off in 2026 is now clear. You are exchanging administrative shielding for maximum financial upside. This flowchart helps map your decision. One path leads towards maximized earnings and autonomy, fitting the profile of a financial optimizer or clinical purist. If you fit this profile, you thrive by treating yourself as a business. You manage your own taxes and focus purely on clinical duties, without the distraction of hospital meetings. For a provider who is meticulously organized, the high daily rate is more than enough to justify the administrative friction. The alternative branch leads towards stability and admin avoidance, the path for the stability seeker or the time-poor provider. This profile favors the W-2 path to avoid the burden of 90-day updates, 120-day PECOS delays, and the task of sourcing private health insurance. For the stability seeker, institutional meetings are a reasonable price to pay for having an entire department handle their regulatory and benefits management. Success in the 2026 market depends on matching your career model to your personal tolerance for bureaucratic management. The highest daily rate only delivers value if you're prepared to manage the business behind it.